Hello everyone, Jose J. Garcia, real estate investor, coach, and mentor here. So, wanted to make a video. Not doing nothing, might as well do something, right? And what do I mean by that? Yeah, a lot of people. I don't have many close friends. I don't really have any friends. Bottom line, I have connections and I have network. That's what I have. Okay. One thing about it is, when you're busy, always busy, a lot of people don't really care for you to be around because you're never around. Never around anyway. Nowhere to be found, that's what they say. So, a lot of things that you have to make peace. And I've had to learn that coming up early on, very early on, because of that. When you set your mind to something to change, to be for the better, to go after anything, you're going to lose a lot of friends, a lot of people that are around, even family members. It is what it is. Once you make peace with that, it's just that goes with it. But the reality is that, if these same people that are your friends or your close ones, if they're willing to do what you're doing and willing to change for the better like you, they'd be around right next to you also. So, you're not leaving them behind. They're choosing to stay behind. But that's not what the video is about. I don't even know why I started with that. So I'm headed to South Carolina, Spartanburg to be exact. And I'm going up here to look at a mobile home park on a Saturday. And traffic is now moving, so otherwise I wouldn't be making this video. But that's the reason that I sit there and thought I'm sitting here doing absolutely nothing. It's a little too early on a Saturday to call anybody. You got to be catered to that as well. So I don't want to just start making a bunch of phone calls, but figure, well, let me do something while doing nothing. That's what I mean by that. Always find yourself being productive. If you're sitting around, and Lord, don't say bored. My gosh, I don't even know what that means anymore. Bored. I don't know that still existed. But I'm heading up here to do a review on a bunch of mobile homes. This is the park owner that I connected with months ago, and it never really became a thing. We just kind of disagreed on terms, conditions, that sort of thing, and we just didn't come to terms of numbers, really. Again, no deal is a deal unless the numbers check out, and at the time, it just didn't check out. They don't exactly check out now, in a sense, but the connection does. And many times you have to give up something for even that. The connection, the network is much greater because it is very hard to make connections. One connection can make a difference for you. So that in itself I can make a video on. But I'm sitting here looking at all the traffic. I took a detour. Apparently my GPS took me a detour off-road, and it didn't really do a whole lot of better, I don't think so. But I think it's trying to take me back into the freeway now, and it definitely put me about 30 minutes behind. So sounds like you're complaining, Jay. What's happening, right? Voicing my opinion is what I'm going to call it. Here's the reason I made this video, and I know it's going longer than. And again, let me turn my camera. So again, traffic. It's moving along a little bit. Basically, to stand still back there for whatever reason. So still a good couple hours away. But people are enjoying life as it is getting back to what people consider normal. Now, when you think of something like that, is what in life exactly have you done so great that you can say, I want it to go back to quotations normal, back to the way it was. If you're not living, if you're not growing, you're dying. Remember that. Okay? Every day you should be better than you were yesterday. You're your biggest competition and your only competition. I don't compete against anybody. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I pay attention. I drive to be as good and as great as what very great successful people are, but they're not my competition. They're simply a motivation and a drive for me to be better for myself. And I think a lot of people forget that. And especially when you have things like COVID now out, really. Yes, there's cases back up rising in certain states that are apparently locking back up and whatnot. People are really starting to forget, what just happened. And when you think about COVID, that was nothing more than an issue that nobody had ever seen. There was changes that shouldn't have happened and some that should, and it just became a big blur overall. A lot of people talk about, it was like the market crash. How so? How can you even say that? You couldn't evict people. People weren't being evicted because it was a sickness. This was an illness that was happening, totally, completely. But it got me thinking about that as well, because when you say the market crash, okay, the real term, the right term for that is called market corrections. That's what happens. That means that the numbers are all over the place and they need to be corrected. And when that shift happens, it causes the market quotations to crash. Okay, when a market crashes, that's when you see all these problems. And a lot of people are already forgetting about COVID. Do y'all remember 08, 09, dot-com, 2000? What about the Great Depression? Nobody thinks about this. Why? Because, oh, that's too hurtful to even think about. It was bad enough dealing with it. Yeah, it was. When the market crashes, okay, when the market correction happens again, 08 is going to look like a blessing because of how long it has taken now. And COVID did not help that. COVID made that worse by many, many times. It is said that the Great Depression was bad enough, but when the market shifts and corrects again, and it is near, by the way, it is not going to be pretty. Too many people are sitting around on the sidelines, still waiting, still talking. All these naysayers, all these hitters. I just made a couple videos on some of these here, okay? They're sitting around trying to waste time because that's all they're doing. It is a holiday weekend, and what are you doing? You're out traveling again. Hey, life is normal. Life is great again. Is it really? No, it is not. You've got to set yourself, your future for you, your friends, your loved ones, and everybody you care about, and it starts with you. That's the only way that that's ever going to work. If you have one day job, if you have one stream of income, you don't have time to be out gallivanting. You don't have time to be taking vacations, to be taking days off. You ever notice that the most successful people are the ones that work the most? Now, they're the ones that if anybody should be taking a vacation. Hey, they can afford it for one, easy. But yet they're the ones that are up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and going till midnight or later each and every day, building greater and greater. And if you speak to them, even sit for a slight second and ask them, what are you looking forward to? What are you working on? They will tell you things like, oh, well, in the next 5, 10 years, I'm looking to really stretch this out or really do this or that or changes, etc. Give them back. I gotta love when they start talking about that, okay? But if you ask somebody who has a one stream of income, what are you doing? What are you looking forward to? Oh man, TGIF, it's the weekend. It's a long weekend. I get to sleep in. I get to go out with my boys, drink some drinks, bike week down at the beach, whatever it may be. It's a bunch of waste of time, and I don't want you to take this video. I typically don't make these videos as long as I do, and I don't talk as long as I do for a reason, okay? But it doesn't really matter because some people are going to find these productive while other people are going to think that I'm hating. I'm not hating on anybody. You do whatever you want to do. But the day of tomorrow, when you are struggling, it is nobody's fault but yours. You are setting the standard for tomorrow, and it starts with today. What are you doing now? Where are you focusing? Where's your mindset today that's going to make a difference or is going to doom you tomorrow? Because when there's something like that, a market crash, correction, whatever you want to call it, does happen, are you set for something like that? You know, it is said that 90% of Americans are one paycheck away from being broke. That is not only sad, but disturbing to hear. You mean to tell me that if I miss one paycheck, I am struggling and suddenly not going to make ends meet and on the verge of being broke? That's not on the verge of being broke. You're already broke now. If you don't have multiple streams of income, if you don't have passive income coming and security for yourself that you built through passive wealth, you already broke. You've been broke. You're what they call getting by. And America has created that to make you feel like you're comfortable. Comfortable may feel well. It's a temporary feeling. And remember, nothing grows there. It is a dead zone. You're not going to be comfortable very long. Okay? Nothing there. Nothing good lasts in a sense. And it's definitely not that because there's no security there. You know, there is many ways for you to create passive income. Warren Buffett said the greatest way to wealth through passive wealth is through real estate. Those are Warren Buffett's words, not mine. I coach people. I teach you how to get into a hidden side to real estate. Okay, even easier. Some in a form, in a way that you can get into, in a sense, real estate, because this is what it is. That's what mobile homes are. They're considered personal property because they have a VIN, they have a title, much like a car, boat, motorcycle, whatever you want to consider, right? So they consider them passive income, personal property. But if you can create passive income through it, what does it really matter? Then there's that. Oh, well, mobile homes depreciate. I'm not getting into a depreciating asset. Does it really matter if a mobile home is considered or worth $1 or $100,000 or $100 million for that matter in a book if it's still bringing you passive income each and every month? Think about that for a second. Now, I love real estate. I love all assets, and I love all investments, especially the ones that create the biggest ROIs, or in terms of my investment, right? But I also think about risk associated with, which many people many times forget because they don't even know what they're investing in. Oh, everybody's doing it. Well, if everybody was jumping off a cliff, I wouldn't be found behind that line. So, okay. With $5,000, you can get all into a mobile home investment if you know what you're doing. $5,000. Pay attention. Numbers. Some of you may need to take a pad and pen right about now. $5,000. That means that I get to buy the mobile home. I get to put the labor, the material, the holding. What is the holding? Utilities, insurance, lot rent. If it's in the park, which most likely it will be, right? All in for $5,000. That same $5,000 I can turn into many extra strategies that I choose to. Y'all may hear me many times say RTO, flip it. That's just my exit strategy of choice. But did you also know you can have a forever and ever rental as a mobile home? Mobile homes don't last. Their guaranteed life is about 20 years. Really. Because I have some 1965 mobile homes I've rehabbed that I've created RTOs, and I still have them today. Okay? Well, they depreciate in value. Really. I can title them on a piece of land, parcel real estate, and they actually increase in value. Appreciate, because they're now part of the deed and part of real estate. So I can not only value them as that, but they comp as that. You don't know what you don't know, and you better start getting educated. You know, I love spending family time. That is my thing now on the weekends. If I don't have my family, I don't have anything. But a lot of people are not spending family time, or spending successful, I'll call it, time. You're wasting time. You're passing time that you cannot afford to lose. You can get many things in life back over and over. And you hear this from many successful people. I've lost millions and gained them, and lost them and gained them again. Because you can keep making money. And if you learn how to make money, you're going to keep learning how to create that passive income for you. But the one thing that you cannot get back, once it's gone forever, is time. Are you putting your time to good use today for tomorrow? Many of you need to realize that you have to live today differently so that you can live tomorrow differently, in a different way, both ways, right? But the sacrifice, who would do the sacrifice? I'm all over the place on this video, and I'm going to keep talking. Some of you may already drop, some of you may came back on by now. Okay? I came from a very poorly beginnings, as some of you may already know. Very poor, okay? And my family never went after anything. My family to this day doesn't know how to create money, how to make money, other than trading time. What does trading time for money mean? It's a job. What does a job mean? Just over broke. It is not your employer's job to make you wealthy or make you rich. That is your job. And when you work for somebody, it is your job to make them wealthy. So you see the double standard weirdness we got going, okay? It is nobody's responsibility, it is nobody's job but yourself to take care of you, your family, your loved ones, and your tomorrow. And it starts with today. Enjoy your weekend. It is Labor Day weekend. I hope everybody stays safe. Absolutely. I wish you all the best. But a lot of you need to be taking a step back right about now, because you're not taking initiative, you're not taking action, and you're letting time pass you by. And I assure you that with the day of tomorrow, when you're hurting for money and you can't make ends meet, and there's no jobs and there's no security, not that you ever had one if you had a job, you can't look around in the room and try to point your finger at anybody but yourself. When you stick your hand out and point your finger at somebody, just remember you have 3 fingers pointing right back at you. That's my coach talking. It is time for a lot of you to start taking responsibility for you, taking action. And when you have people coaching you, people out there available, you better jump on that wagon while they're still around. I have been very blessed to be able to be coached by some of the coaches that are still around and are able to take me. That's many times people don't forget about that as well, I'll just get to that coach later. What makes you think they're going to be around? You know, I heard a story about Tony Robbins coming up. Tony Robbins is a phenomenal, amazing individual that I will meet and I will be interviewing, by the way, sooner or later. And he talks about how there was this one coach, I cannot recall his name, that he wanted him to coach him. He knew the importance of coaching, mentoring. and he wanted this gentleman to coach him. And he basically reached out and he made the connection, which was already a success in itself. But he talks about how he immediately started telling him, well, I'll pay you this amount. I can afford to pay you this amount at this time for you to coach me, which was a pretty penny, good number. And Tony's surprise more so than anything was the gentleman's response to him. I don't need your money. I don't need anybody's money. I've made money, and the biggest, most important thing to me in life right now is my time. My time for me, my time for my loved ones, and my time for my family. And there is not a dollar amount that you can pay that is going to get me to trade that for. Because I've already had a job, many of them. And now I've created wealth to a point where I don't have to work. So your money is no good here. Now picture that for a second for some of you. Because many of you are thinking, well, money buys everything. Does it? And I don't know. You know, and I am not bragging right now. I don't think many of you know my net worth, and it doesn't matter, my net worth. I can afford to go buy a Ferrari, Lamborghini right now. Why don't I have one? You know, when I was coming up early on, that was actually something that I wanted, was luxury, exotic cars. And I have a couple. I've bought crap I don't need. I still have nonsense I should be getting rid of and converting them into assets over liabilities. But the more I grow, the more I mature, the more I learn about life investments and the real meaning of what I should be going after. I don't want a Lamborghini. I don't want a Ferrari. The thought of having this garbage in my garage at this point is more of an aggravation than anything. You know, I have a C7 Callaway, okay, special edition, only 25 made Corvettes. I hate the freaking thing. And I know I sound like a hater today. I really hope that's not how I'm coming across. I'm just aggravated that so many people are passing time and they're not doing better for their families. I want to help everybody possible. I want to leave this earth tomorrow better than I came here yesterday. And I need to focus on today in order to do so. I cannot help you if you don't reach out to me. I cannot help you if you don't want to be helped. Only you can help yourself, and you have to start with you. So that's where my aggravation is coming from this video. But it is not about money. It is not about materialistic nonsense. That stuff can come and go, but time cannot. And back to Tony Robbins' video, well, the video that I saw where he was talking about this, it really struck me, because that's real. You know, when you start learning the real meaning of life and how time is precious, not money, time. You know, you have family members right now that you might not have talked to, might have reached out to, and you're just going through with life like everything else. I'll get to that later. That later may not be there tomorrow. That individual, that family member that you're talking about, may be gone in glimpses of seconds. That is life. That's reality, and that's real, and that's how quickly things change. Set yourself today for a better tomorrow so that you can live a better life and provide for those loved ones. Start with you and make that sacrifice. In my family, I am the first of generations of ever that I can know of that I've made a difference, and I've done that because I see a difference. I don't want to repeat the same cycle of broke, poor, I can't make ends meet. Well, let's take a vacation, let's enjoy life. Well, we can't afford it. We can't afford it. Why can't you afford it? You got a job. They got a job. Everybody's got a job in a family, and yet nobody can pay for a thing. And that cycle continues to go and go, day after day, week after week, after month after year. And 20, 30 years later, you know, I see things like my family, which I love them dearly. They're still in the same place today as they were 30 years ago. Yes, I'm 30 years, by the way. I had a student tell me, oh, I thought you were older than that. I don't know whether to take it as a compliment or as what, but yes, I'm 30 years old. And no, I'm not young. A lot of people tell me, oh, you're so young and you're so successful. I don't see it that way. I see it as I'm very behind, because I have some 12, 13, 17, 20-year-olds that are freaking killing it. And again, I'm not comparing to them, but it just shows you the possibilities. If you set yourself your mind right and you go after something that you really love, really want, and hey, you don't have to love something to go after it. Real estate is nothing more than an access to a hobby, if you think about it. I don't love real estate. I do love mobile homes. Okay, but a lot of people don't love what they do, and they go to it each and every day. Why? Because they tolerate it and they think they have to do it. You don't have to do it. I was listening, I listen to many motivational videos. That's what I portray. Even now, I cannot sit here and just do nothing. If I'm going down the highway and I'm listening to music, I'm just thinking, wow, I am burning my time. I should not be listening to music. And there's nothing wrong with music, but if I'm not being productive, I feel like I'm burning and wasting my time. Morgan Freeman was asked, what do you think it takes to really make a difference, to make a change in yourself and be successful? And his response was more so, take action today, which is what we hear all too often. Kind of vague in a way, right? But again and again, people respond the same way because, it starts by taking action. Take that one step forward and start building that momentum. And then the next footstep and the next one. And before you know it, now you're walking. Now you're jogging. Now you're sprinting. Now you're running. Okay? When you put your foot on the gas, it's a little hard to take it off, Tony Robbins would say. Morgan Freeman was asked, well, some people just can't get out of the rat race. Some people just can't get out and make a difference. They're stuck where they're at. His response was, man, the bus goes by every day. Now there's a little bit behind scene to that, what he's saying in that, right? I know this video has been all over the place, and you may never see me make another long video like this, not for a while anyway, okay? This video may offend many. This video may make people feel like they're being attacked, and they're not. This is with good intentions. When I see this right here, I love it. People are out and about again. Life is getting normal, whatever that means to them. But you need to also be focusing and putting time where it means a change of tomorrow. Not just the weekend, not just a night out with the guys. TGIF means nothing. Well, it does, but it doesn't. So what if it's Friday? So what if it's Saturday? It's my Saturday too. I'm going up to look for investments, more for me, for my students, for my investors, to make a change, to make a difference. And don't forget, when you invest in mobile homes, you're not just another real estate investor. You're being coached, you're being taught, and you're investing to give back. And that's a beautiful thing. The last shadow event that I had, and I've always heard that, I say this quite often, maybe it's picking up, maybe they're getting it from their own, it doesn't really matter. But I've never been in one setting where so many people responded that the reason they're getting into mobile homes was because they want to give back. That in itself is a beautiful thing, and that tells me we are onto something. We're doing something different. We're changing lives, we're giving opportunities, and we're making a difference. And that's beautiful. All right, I'm about to get on the main highway. I guess this traffic finally broke up. So stay off your phones while you drive. All right, I hope this video inspires, helps, or motivates anybody at the least. By no means do I make this to offend anybody. That is not my goal. My goal is to give back in any way possible. And if you are looking to get into mobile home investing, which I hope so, don't leave real estate. Don't leave any other assets or any other way investments that you do. Keep them. Simply add mobile homes. Start giving back and start making a difference. And when you think about ROIs, returns on your investments, mobile homes have the greatest of. Don't believe me? Check it out. Ask people. Look around. Numbers don't lie. j@garciamhu.com. Email me directly. Visit my website, garciamhu.com. Until next time, thank you for watching.